The Montreal skyline stretched out, a jagged line of steel and glass against the late summer heat. On the rooftop, the air felt heavy. Claire tapped her tablet screen, the rhythmic sound sharp against the low hum of the city below. She frowned, her eyes scanning lines of flight times and venue addresses that refused to align. "I have 5 invites for August," she said, her voice tight. "But the logistics are a nightmare. Flights, private access, finding the right people, it is all fragmented." She pushed the tablet away, the screen reflecting the harsh glare of the sun. Lena sat across from her, her hand resting on the edge of her glass. She did not drink. She stared out at the horizon, her jaw set. "Exactly," Lena replied. "I am tired of attending gala events, only to find myself surrounded by strangers who do not share my vision. It is exhausting to curate a social circle from scratch every time I land in a new city." The champagne in their flutes went flat. They sat in the silence of the terrace. 3 women isolated by the sheer inefficiency of their own high-stakes world. Every plan felt like a gamble. Sonia set her glass down. The sharp click of crystal against marble drew the attention of the others. She reached into her bag and pulled out her phone. The screen flickered to life, glowing with a deep violet interface. She tapped the screen, navigated through a clean, minimalist menu, and slid the device across the table toward Claire. "I stopped struggling with the planning weeks ago," Sonia said. Her voice was calm, contrasting with the tension. She pointed to a specific icon on the display. "Look at the event tickets feature. It filters by exclusivity and relevance." Claire leaned forward, her eyes tracking the movement of Sonia's finger as she opened the trip planning tool. Sonia tapped a flight confirmation, and the app instantly populated the corresponding venue schedule. "It syncs my flights directly with the venue calendars," Sonia explained. "No more fragmented data." Claire scrolled through the interface, her thumb hovering over a tab labeled Mingle. She tapped it, and the screen refreshed to display a network of profiles. Her eyes widened, the reflection of the violet light dancing in her pupils. "It matches attendees based on professional interests and lifestyle preferences?" she asked. Sonia nodded, a faint smile appearing. "It is how I found my last 2 business partners. It turns a crowded room into a room full of potential." The air on the terrace shifted. The weight of the logistical nightmare that had dominated their conversation minutes ago evaporated. Lena leaned in, her gaze locked onto the screen. She reached out, tapped the download button, and watched the progress bar fill. Within seconds, the 3 of them were navigating the forum, their fingers moving in sync as they connected with elite event vendors and high-end curators. The frustration that had defined their afternoon vanished. It was replaced by a new, sharp energy. They were no longer just planning a summer, they were architecting it. The isolation of the city was gone, replaced by the promise of a perfectly mapped high-stakes season. They sat closer now, the marble table a shared command center. Sonia turned her attention back to her own device. She tapped the sign-up button, her movements deliberate as she populated her profile with her professional focus and travel preferences. She hit submit, and the screen transitioned to a loading animation. A moment of silence passed. Then, a sharp, clear ping cut through the ambient city noise. A notification banner slid down from the top of the screen. It was a connection request. Sonia tapped the icon, and a profile expanded. The name George appeared, followed by a brief bio highlighting his base in Florida and his expertise in luxury travel logistics. She scrolled down, seeing a gallery of images that included a private jet on a sun-drenched tarmac. The connection was immediate. She tapped the chat icon, and the interface opened a private channel between them. She typed a brief greeting, her fingers steady, and watched the status indicator shift to active. The ping had been more than a simple alert. It was a bridge. She looked up from the screen, her gaze drifting toward the horizon where the sun was beginning its slow descent. The digital link was established, but the real-world implications were just beginning to take shape. She set the phone down, the screen still glowing, and waited for the reply that would set their summer in motion. The harbor air held the scent of salt and expensive fuel. Sonia stood at the edge of the dock, watching the golden light reflect off the water. A sleek yacht sat moored, its deck humming with the low vibration of a gathering already in progress. She checked her phone one last time, the app interface confirming the location. Then, a man stepped from the gangway. He scanned the crowd, his eyes landing on her with immediate recognition. It was George. He moved toward her with a steady, purposeful stride, his presence matching the confidence she had sensed through their digital exchange. He stopped inches away, a faint smile breaking across his face. "Sonia," he said, his voice cutting through the ambient sound of the waves. The chemistry was instantaneous, a physical weight that confirmed the algorithm's accuracy. He did not linger in the greeting. He gestured toward the yacht. "My associates," he added, gesturing to the deck. They were successful, sharp-eyed, and aligned with the vision Sonia had cultivated. As Claire and Lena joined them, the two groups merged without friction. The dock became the launch pad for a season defined by connection. The yacht soiree was merely the opening movement. Over the following weeks, the summer accelerated into a blur of high-stakes motion. One day they were navigating the crowded corridors of a private gala in the city. The next, they were moving through the VIP entrance of an exclusive music festival. Every transition was frictionless. When a flight was delayed, the Ovbiedo app automatically adjusted their ground transport and venue arrival times. When a guest list shifted, the interface updated in real time, ensuring their circle remained curated and exclusive. Sonia watched the violet and gold notifications ping through her phone, each one a confirmation of a perfectly mapped itinerary. They moved through these spaces with an ease that drew attention, their group expanding to include other high-level curators and investors. The app handled the heavy lifting of logistics, leaving them free to focus entirely on the networking and the moment. They attended private dinners where deals were struck. The summer was no longer a series of scattered events, but a singular, perfectly executed trajectory of professional and social growth. The frantic pace of the summer eventually yielded to a different rhythm. One evening, the group retreated from the noise of the gala circuit to a quiet terrace overlooking the harbor. The phones, usually glowing with notifications, remained face down on the table. Sonia watched the city lights flicker, then turned to George. The conversation had drifted away from venue logistics and investment portfolios. Instead, they spoke of childhood memories and the quiet ambitions that drove them when no one was watching. Claire and Lena sat nearby, their laughter softer, more genuine, untethered from the need to network or impress. The air felt heavier, charged with a different kind of energy. Sonia reached across the table, her hand finding George's. The touch was steady, grounding. They were no longer just partners in a curated social circle. They were people who had navigated the chaos of the world and found a shared sanctuary. The app had brought them together, but the depth of their connection had grown in the spaces between the events. They shared a long, comfortable silence, watching the moon rise over the water. The atmosphere had shifted from the pursuit of success to the quiet, undeniable weight of a life being built together. 3 months later, the terrace was transformed. The city lights below were mere pinpricks against the deepening indigo of the twilight sky. The air was still, held in a fragile, expectant silence. Sonia stood at the edge of the platform, her gaze fixed on George. He waited, his posture relaxed, his focus absolute. There was no logistical planning here, no digital notifications, no search for relevance, just the quiet gravity of two lives converging. As they stepped forward, the murmur of their friends faded into the background. Sonia spoke first, her voice clear and steady, carrying across the open space. She spoke of the path that led them here, acknowledging the strange, precise intersection of chance and technology that had brought them to this exact point. George took her hands, his grip firm. He spoke his own promises, his words grounding the ceremony in a reality that transcended the virtual interface that had first introduced them. They exchanged rings under the vast, darkening expanse. The guests watched, motionless, as the final barrier dissolved. The ceremony ended, but the resonance of that union remained. What began as a search for efficiency in a crowded city had blossomed into a permanent foundation. This was the promise of Ovbiedo, to strip away the noise of the modern world and reveal the connections that truly matter. It is more than a digital interface or a logistical shortcut. It is the architect of opportunity. For those who feel the exhaustion of navigating fragmented social circles or the frustration of missing the right moments, the solution is already within reach. The same precision that mapped a summer of success is waiting to organize your future. Every elite event, every high-stakes connection, and every meaningful encounter is filtered through the same sophisticated lens that brought these lives together. You no longer have to settle for the randomness of chance. You can curate your path, discover the events that align with your vision, and build a network that evolves into something lasting. The world is vast, but your place within it is waiting to be defined.
Take control of your time. Discover the events that define your ambition. Build the connections that elevate your life.
Live the moment with the clarity you deserve. Ovbiedo is the bridge between where you are and where you are meant to be. Download it now on Apple and Android. Your perfectly mapped life is only a tap away.